So I would really like, I mean, there's lots to do.
I'm not that familiar with your story, but Victor was saying it's...
I don't know, did he? I don't think it's in there.
I thought he said it's in here.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll take a look.
But very few people have grasped the sense of it. But you see, once I get your ID that you think is your ID, which isn't, and I go for a walk down the street, you're welcome. You're quite submissive, and you come along, waiting until you can get it back, not realizing the garbage that it is. Anyway, I would really like, Rob's been encouraging me to talk to you guys, which I haven't bothered with, but this problem goes back quite a long time. Hey, where did oh, it's in the truck. I've got a little book called In This World But Not Of It. It was written by a divinity student. Can you imagine that Harvard Law School has a divinity section? And this guy was doing a master's or a doctorate. And when Clay Ruby stole $100,000 from me, promising me that he thought he could do something for me.
The lawyer?
In Toronto here, yeah. Clayton Ruby, yeah. He thought he could do it for $20,000 or $25,000. But all lawyers have their first responsibility is to the court. And you're way down the list. And it's a story we can't sum up here, but I mean, the question that was before the divisional court in Osgood Hall, a 3-member bench, was I was supposed to find a leader of a charitable church, which means it had to be registered under Revenue Canada and Consumer Corporate Affairs, to sign that their policy on the photo ID was the same as mine, to legitimize it. And I shopped all over, different denominations, sects, religions, to find that leader, which doesn't exist. There's been hundreds of these applications from the ministry, which were applications for photo exemption based on established religious convictions, requiring a state-sponsored leader to sign, and he couldn't sign it because there's no such leader with that policy in his denomination, although they'd give me all kinds of letters. Anyway, the question came down that I decided when I couldn't find, my leader all along has been who? When it comes to my faith, is Jesus Christ, head of the Christian church. And that was the question. This fellow whose ancestors fired Jesus up on the cross, talking about Mr. Ruby, went to this divisional bench, which was full of the same descendants, and they didn't want to touch Jesus Christ with a 10-foot pole, so they concluded, there were 6 letters regarding my sincerity, and Ruby said there wasn't a problem with sincerity. They concluded that my lawyer, Mr. Ruby, had a burden of sincerity to meet that he failed to do, so the application was dismissed. And he had $100,000 in his pocket. And I've got banker boxes full of the documentation. It was quite an educational experience, but I mean, that is what led me from the mark to the name. Can you tell me when you were born?
Yeah, June.
Oh?
June, yeah.
Can you get a little more specific?
14th.
Any more specific?
79.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because the boys with the eye on the pyramid that they worship and run the circus, and they're busy doing their Masonite chip program with the kiddies. Yeah. They're very focused on kiddies, and they're out of the closet everywhere now in their red outfits with their Santa Claus. They took the name, the end off the back, stuck it in the middle. Okay. They got Mum to give Junior a pagan experience in called birthday parties from early on for a few years until it got drilled in his brain that he thought he knew when he was born. But when you tell the officer the truth, particularly if he doesn't get a name that he can pull out of the database, the truth is I have no personal knowledge of that date. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the way my creator designed it.
Right.
That's when they go berserk. Hit the panic button and the cruisers roll in.
Yeah.
And they beat you up, open up your head, fire you in the cruiser. That started last May of 2009. And it came to a close here last week by them deciding that they better get smart here because there were too many eyes watching, and this falsehood that they have a responsibility to uphold was starting to get a little shaky. So what we'll do is we'll withdraw the charges and just let this go quietly away. But I've been paying them visits here every day since that. This is serious stuff that could be rectified if people realized the power of truth, the importance of truth, because it's only truth that sets you free.
Well, what did Jesus say, right? I am the truth,
the way, and the life. I'm not this dead entity that came along with the dragon waiting for the child to be born to create this trust, which has been totally violated by mammon. You take a look at Matthew chapter 23, verse 13 and 15 in particular, where they compass land and sea, law of the land, law of the sea, and create this proselyte. Now you'll need the concordance to get a clear picture of that, which is 2 times more the child of hell than they are. They're creating us as proselytes. I'm not joking.
I appreciate the info.
I hope to get a chance to share this far and wide, and you're the man that knows how to edit, cut. Wendy come up to see me in 1998, Mesley, and did a little ID called, what was it called?
Let me give this to Dan here.
ID by Body Bits, and she did, what was the name of the thing that she did on me?
What thing?
That was back, what was that over? Well, she come up and did this story, and it was very, very well done. You see, have you ever heard of Equifax?
I can give that to you there. That's all the evidence and document his arguments that he read out in court.
Okay.
I think this thing is on the web, but I mean, there is a truth here that has been hidden because we're in this rushed world. Scripture says, until you can gain rest. What does he say? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
All ye are weary, come to me and I'll give you rest.
That's right. But he tells us we'll lie down in green pastures. He'll take us beside the still waters. And when things quiet down and we get away from the hustle and bustle that mammon shoves on us, he will restore our soul. So I would really like the opportunity to speak with you further on this because it's extensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would be very beneficial for, people are starving for the truth.
Absolutely.
And these devils, these hypocrites, these enemies of Christ are hiding the truth on us. They take away the key of knowledge. That's what they're working. They were just going crazy about that, hindering those to enter in. They burden men with burdens, grievous to be borne, and not lift one with, use one finger to relieve it. You know, take a look. Matthew chapter 23, Luke chapter 11 toward the end, and Christ laid it all out. Seriously.
All right.
So when you go to court,
is that your contact, or is it your email?
I don't know. No, that's some other guy. I don't know. That's Rob.
John Gorman from BC, Captain Canada, put out.
I've never seen that.
I just put that as a cover story.
Oh, okay.
So I don't
really
know.
inside when that came out.
Anyway, thanks for the entertainment. Sorry for kind of seeming a little
Big
little
fan of your
stunned.
work, brother. Big fan. Great job. I burn your DVDs and hand them out to everybody up in my town. Great job, man.
Cool.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't get from that.
So this is the fiction.
That's a total fiction, but I mean, worse than that, they have it in their database, okay? That's just a copy, and they can withdraw it and cancel it at a moment's notice, okay? So we are totally enslaved individually. We don't even know it in the main, and that's the tragedy of it all. Anyway, I'd be happy to do an interview with you anytime.